Alright, so here we go with the shifter we need to do. We got to get this shifter put in. So I picked up this piece of steel here. It's a 16 gauge, just regular steel, that I'm going to make some kind of a, I don't know what I'm going to make, some kind of maybe like a little console, little bracket for this. I mean, to hold this, to put it basically like right in this area here, kind of try to match the contour of the console here, I was thinking, and then bring it, you know, out to here, and then maybe I can cover it in carpet. I still have that nice black carpet that I used back here. Maybe I can cover it in carpet and then make it look like kind of factory. And then I need to put the I need to cover this hole up. I'm going to reuse the old shifter mechanism there. I'm going to put that back so it covers that hole. So let me take some measurements, and we'll try to get this. I'm going to have to cut it and maybe bend it over. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do it, but let me take some measurements and I'll come back and see what I come up with. Okay, here's what I come up with. I cut these pieces up a little bit. I kind of measured them out in the car, and what I'm going to do is basically, this is going to be like it's going to be like boxed out with kind of hard to do this with one hand, but you guys get the idea. This is going to be boxed like this, and then this is going to be on the end, and one end will be open this way, and that's going to butt up in the car. It's going to kind of, it's going to kind of sit like right there, and then I'm going to carpet that. I'm going to carpet over this, so it's going to look like, you know, part of the car. And then I'm going to have to get a delete panel for that. And as you can see, if I just put this here as, you know, just to kind of show where it's going to go, you'll see how this is going to kind of meet up with that right around this area. And then the back will be covered. You know, the back will have a cap on it. The sides, and then I'm going to try to bolt it right to the tunnel here, the trans tunnel. I might have to put a couple tabs on it. I'm not sure, but let me get it tacked together, and then I'll come back and we'll take a look at it and put it in the car and see what it looks like. All right, this is what I come up with so far. Kind of a, as you can see, just kind of a box. Basically just to get it up a little higher than just being sitting on the tunnel there, and also to give me a flat surface, because if you try to bolt it to that, it's not, if you try to bolt it to that, it's not very flat. So this, I should be able to, I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. Maybe run a couple bolts through this just to hold it down, and then tack weld maybe some bolts that come up from underneath to mount the shifter. Alright guys, I'm having entirely too much fun with this TIG welder. So here's what I come up with. I actually made some, like a little, maybe it's kind of dark in here, but attached to the box here, I got it all tacked. I'm probably just going to leave it like that. I'm not going to fully weld it because it's really strong, but and then I got a hole here in the middle that's going to bolt through to the frame. There's like a cross member here, like a frame piece that comes across, and it's going to bolt straight to that. And then remember this is all going to be carpeted. So, and then I've made like a little cosmetic little plate that fits up right along here. And I'm going to carpet all this, fold the carpet over, it'll fill in this gap too. So it'll just look like part of the console here. And then this is going to have to mount on this side over here. I'll drill a little hole through here. The cable will feed through. I'm going to have to come up with something in here to cover that. I don't know if that's going to work, because it hits the transmission actually. So this transmission sits up a little higher than the other one, and it hits it right on the top. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm gonna do. Made a few mistakes here, but like I said, this is going to be carpeted. I want it to blend in with the rest of the car. So yeah, let me go ahead and keep working on it. Get it carpeted, get it bolted in, get this bolted in, and then we'll go from there. I'll start showing you guys how to run the cable and the way you're supposed to do it. The instructions are really good. I've been looking at them, and you basically run it down, fold it around, and then around the tail shaft, and then up into the where the shifter is over here. So, but we'll do all that, and I'll show it, and we'll just keep going. Okay, so it's the next day. I ran out of time last night, so here's where we are right now. Looking really good. Went ahead and carpeted it, and this is going to fit just like this. As you can see, I don't know if it's a little bit dark in here, but kind of get the idea. Let me see if I can get a light. Okay, there you go. Now you can see it. So yeah, you can see where it goes up and over, kind of covers that spot where the console was cut, and kind of blends right in with the rest of the car. So then, let's see. Yeah, then this piece here goes over top of that, like so, and that's pretty much how it's going to look. So I did kind of make a mistake, and I carpeted it before I added this hole. There needs to be a hole for the cable to come through right here. So I'm gonna have to get some like metal scissors and cut that out, and try to kind of clean it up a little bit to make it look good. But it'll be covered up by this plate here, so I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, you won't see it because that'll be covering it right there. So yeah, I'm happy the way it's coming out, and let's get this mounted. There's a hole right in the middle that's gonna mount one bolt, and we'll run the cable, and I'll be back. Okay, so you mount your cable to this hole here with the bracket. Then your cable comes up, and it's going to hook into here, and then you put a little circlip on it. I believe it comes in the package here. And then I cut a little spot here for the cable, and like I said, that'll be covered up anyway, but it doesn't look too bad. So we got our cable run. So now we're just going to get it in the car, and then I'm gonna have to cut a spot right there, maybe a little notch out of that to feed the cable through. So all right, let's move on. All right, so we got the cable run. I drilled a small hole. You can kind of see it right there. Just drill the hole for that, and it slides right up. Perfecto. So the cable runs through there. I'm gonna have to come up with something that's gonna cover this. I haven't decided yet what I'm gonna do. I have to make something, but I don't really want a hole that big for smoke to come in. You know, you do your burnout, the whole car will fill with smoke, so we don't want that. And okay. So let me run the cable, wrap the cable around underneath the car, and then we'll see what that looks like. All right, we got our bolt in. One bolt here with a nice some grade 8 hardware, and this thing is solid. I mean, it came out way more solid than I thought it would. I mean, it's really nice. So, so yeah, like I said, we got to finish putting a plate on there. I'm gonna order, I believe Scott Rod makes just a blank plate to fit there. So that's what it's gonna look like, just like that. You know, you can imagine that's gonna be gone. So yeah, okay, so let's get to work on putting the cable into the shifter over here in the transmission, and then I'll show how I did that. All right, what we have here is a bracket that you have to mount to your transmission fluid pan. Okay, comes with a couple spacers you got to mount on there also. I believe it's these two here, and you're going to replace the bolts with a little bit longer bolts. So when this hangs down, kind of you can see in the directions here, it's going to kind of hang down, and you're going to bolt your cable to that. And for my transmission, the TH400, you're going to use the front hole on this bracket. And it came with this bracket too, but the transmission I bought from Eric, the guy I bought it from, Eric, it already had a B&M shifter on it, so he left that lever on there. So I'm just going to reuse the one that's on there, and yeah, you can see how that goes. So I'm going to do that now, and then we'll come back and adjust it, and then that's going to wrap it up. Yeah, I'll come back and adjust the cable. You put it in park, and you adjust the cable until your shifter is sitting in park, and there's like a little bit of slop between the it's kind of hard to explain, but where it connects to the shifter lever, you want just a little bit of play back and forth. You don't want tension on it either way. So let me get that all installed. We'll finish it up and be done with this project. Definitely don't want to over tighten these bolts. You can warp the pan rails, and then you'll get a leak, and you'll wonder why. And a lot of times what people do is they'll keep tightening them down, thinking, oh, I got a leak, so they tighten them more, and you're actually making it worse because you're bending the rail and making a bigger gap. So don't over tighten those. You can always go back and check them later, but there's no need to over tighten those. All right, so this is going to run through. This is hard to do with one hand, but this is going to run through that hole. Let me do that, and then we'll come back. Okay, so you run it through there. You get your 2 bolts, your 2 nuts on either side of that, 2 washers. Slide back on your little rubber grommets, and then we're going to go ahead and mount it to this, and then we'll go ahead and adjust it. This is where you adjust it to make it so that when you're in park, it's kind of a neutral feel to it. You don't want tension on this thing either way. So, all right, let's continue on. All right, so once you have this adjusted and you have it locked down, you want to make sure that this, when you have it in park, okay, all the way forward is park, and you have the shifter in the car in park, you want this to be able to, this little tab to just slide right in just like that. Okay, and it's okay to have a little bit of play in it. That means there's no tension on it either way. So right there, it's perfect. We'll put the cotter pin in, and then that's going to do it. You might, like, if the way this comes around, you may want to, like, I don't know, if it bothers you, you can kind of zip tie it up out of the way somewhere, like maybe like that, or but they usually do hang down a little bit. I mean, I'll probably get it up like that, so there's nothing hanging down. So, but anyway, yeah, that's gonna do it. Pretty much. I'll put the cotter pin in, and then I may try to start the car to see if, and just run through the gears so that I can make sure this transmission is okay. It's obviously it's untested. I don't know anything about it. I mean, the guy seemed very legit, and he was cool and said, hey, there shouldn't be any problem with that tranny. So, but we'll see. You never know. Anything can happen. So let me see if I can get the car started and run through the gears. So, all right, guys, we got it rigged up right now. Let me turn some lights on. I got it rigged up right now just to start on the stock ECU. I just kind of taped the mass air on and bolted my grounds together, made sure I got fluid in the transmission, and just kind of set the intercooler piping in here. I didn't really clamp it or anything like that, just enough to get it, just to start it, and so I can run through the gears. So let me see if this thing starts, and then I'll put the camera like right here, and I'll show you guys running through the gears. right now it's running without a O2 sensor, so it's just kind of going off of the computer. Is just, I guess it's like a stock map or whatever, that if something goes wrong it just reverts to that, but it's running really rich. But no leaks or anything, no exhaust leaks. So let me go ahead and shut it off. So yeah, started right up. But yeah, it's rare to put a whole bunch of new stuff on and there not be any issues, like no leaking of oil or no exhaust leaks or anything like that. I mean, I got pretty lucky. So yeah, so there's a few other things we got to do. Obviously we're not going to be running a mass air. I ordered the EMU black, so that's going to be here maybe in a couple days, and then I have to wire that up. So, and then we have to make a decision on injectors, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I can take it to the track then. So I'm really happy the transmission's good. Although I haven't tried reverse. With a trans brake transmission, I need to hook up the trans brake, and in order to go into reverse you have to hold the trans brake button down and then put it in reverse to go in reverse. So there's no way I could have tested that right now unless I hooked it up, and it's not hooked up right now. So let's just keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully that works, and yeah, we're good to go. So hope you guys learned something in this video, and the next video will be probably doing the ECU, because everything else is interior wise, I mean, we're pretty good here. I love the way this came out. So anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. Like, share, subscribe. See it. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I keep forgetting to mention that you know, I have an Instagram. It's at the hated1j. I'll put it right here. If you follow me on there, I post pictures and stuff like that, like during the week, and you'll kind of get a sneak preview of what my video is going to be about. So go ahead and follow me on that, and then you'll get like to see pictures and just kind of updated stuff. I do really quick things, you know, just mostly pictures. But anyway,